Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I have a crazy story time that I have not really shared with many people. So basically this story time happened a long time ago and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's been a crazy journey for health and everything, and just I don't know, it was just such a crazy moment. But let's rewind back into the past and I'll tell you guys everything that happened. And this is going to be the story time of how I almost died. And it really did happen, so get ready for a story. I think this particular day was a Sunday. And I remember that because I didn't have to take off school or anything. I want to say 9th or 10th grade. I don't know for sure. It was 9th or 10th grade for sure, but I just know that I was just going about my regular routine. I was in high school, and I know that one day I wasn't feeling so well, so I felt short of breath and I felt sick, and I remember just sitting on the couch and I had my little breathing machine and all my inhalers and things that people with asthma have, and I had that. And back then I didn't really understand how severe it was. I didn't understand really anything about it. I didn't get it at all, and all I knew was that I didn't feel well. And now that I think about it, I was up all night. I remember sitting up and just watching TV all night because I really didn't feel well, and I knew if I went to sleep I would start coughing and it would make my asthma act up. So I pretty much just stayed up all night. This is harder than I thought. Memories are really coming back. I didn't know I remembered this much. And then when the morning rolled around, it was probably I don't know, everybody was starting to wake up, and my mom came out there and she knew I wasn't feeling well, and she came out there to see how I was doing, and then she asked how I was. And I remember I would be taking my inhaler way too much. They're called rescue inhalers because you're not really supposed to use them unless you need them, and I was using it so much, and I guess I didn't know that meant there was something wrong. And I just she came in there to ask me how I was doing, and I guess I was trying to pretend nothing was wrong. But as soon as she asked me if I was okay, I said no, and I started crying. And then I remember I got so short of breath and I couldn't catch my breath, so I tried to sit up, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get a breath in, and I started panicking, and then full-on terror set in when I couldn't get any air. Panicking, I told her with my last, the only air I had in my system, that I couldn't breathe. I told her that I couldn't breathe. She immediately, my mom immediately, I remember her just telling me we had to go, and she grabbed me, and then the rest is kind of a blur. And I remember everybody getting in the car. I remember sitting in the back of the Lincoln that we had at the time, the back seat, and I remember just throwing up all over everything. I remember not being able to breathe. I remember just blacking out kind of, but I remember bits and pieces. I remember just throwing up in the driveway, and then the next thing I remember was we were at the local doctor's office. It's about 2, maybe 3 minutes away if you speed, and we were speeding. My sister was driving, and I just remember the next thing we know, we were at the doctor's office. I remember my mom kind of dragging me. She was I remember I was just throwing up all over. I remember I was wearing weird, I was wearing I don't know, flats and little pajamas. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I remember just kind of being dragged into there. And I remember there was so many people in the doctor's office, and it's a Sunday and lots of places aren't open. But the last thing I really remember was just being dragged out of the car right outside the doctor's office. And then the next thing I knew, I remember breathing really heavy, and there was a mask on my face, and I was waking up, and I was okay. And I just remember looking up at the ceiling, and I was in the doctor's office, and after that they just stabilized me, and then I was fully awake and like lucid, and then they explained to me that I just had an asthma attack, and that they were gonna send me to the hospital. They like, I don't know if you like order an ambulance or whatever, but they had an ambulance come, and I remember riding in there, and they like cut off my favorite shirt. I don't care about that shirt, but at the time I really did, and they cut it off. And then I was at the hospital for several days, maybe a week, I don't know. After that was over, they just sent me home and life resumed normally. It's pretty crazy to even think about this. I didn't think I would really remember all these things, but I did. And it's crazy to think that if the doctor's office hadn't been open that day, I wouldn't be here. This is just so crazy because I've never really told anybody this, but that's the time that I almost died. And it was so crazy. I just thought I would share that with you guys because it's so crazy to think like one thing could have changed and my whole life would be different. So just a reminder, take care of yourself, listen to your body, and put your health above everything else. I hope this just tells you a little bit about me and where I've been, and you know, that I'm super grateful to even be alive. And before you guys click out of this video, there actually is a part 2. And believe it or not, this similar situation happened again. So I'm gonna be posting that in a while, but let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that too. It's just so crazy that I keep dodging bullets somehow. It didn't happen once, it happened twice, but it's a little bit different. But let me know if you guys want to see that. This was just so crazy. I think I'm like pretty much the luckiest person in the world. I'm just really meant to be here. So I hope you guys stay safe, and I hope you guys enjoy my videos, and I hope that you guys subscribe, like, and comment. I love you guys. I will see you next time.